Transformers issue number 7, and look at this cover. We went over it in the last video. My man Starscream makes another cover in this series, but we got Soundwave versus Starscream, and we get introduced to another OG. Finally, I can't wait to get into this with all of you guys. Let's go. The issue begins on Cybertron, and you can see some of the Autobots are in an intense firefight, you know, and they're just shooting everywhere and everyone, and it just seems like, hey, we gotta go. Alita, we gotta get you in there. We see Cup, we see Huffer, and they're just fighting a bunch of Decepticons, and it looks like they're trying to get to a destination. I don't know if you remember Cup. He was made famous by Transformers the movie. He's kind of like the older Autobot that was filled with wisdom. And here they go. Cup is leading the charge, and they're running towards some building, and they're just getting annihilated by the Decepticons. And look at that. Huffer is gone. The guy made it for 2 pages, and that's the end of him. And the other one's screaming, keep going, we're almost there. You got Cup. He's turning around shooting. Alita 1 looks at him in panic, and he's like, just get out of here. Just save him. For all of, and before he could even say that, Cup is gone. Another, would you consider Cup an OG? Wasn't in the original series, brought in from the film, but he gets blasted in the face. He lasted like 2 pages. Alita then kicks open the door. She's walking down this corridor, and here we see for the first time Ultra Magnus, and she's looking at him going, what have they done to you? And all I could say is he has gone through some kind of torture. He has gone through something. It looks like he's been skinned alive, and he's just barely hanging on. And you can see the look in Alita like, my gosh, what has happened? Ultra Magnus. Now, you guys can disagree with me, but I'd like to hear your opinion on Ultra Magnus and his power level. I think he's up there with Optimus. Optimus definitely has an edge because he has the Matrix. But as far as like fighting and power level, he's up there as far as Autobots. He can hold his own, and he can also lead. He's a natural born leader. People follow him. And to see him in this condition, my goodness, just when the Autobots need him the most, that's tragic. That's tragic. I don't know if he's gone forever. I'm not sure. But then we get back to Earth. We have a picture of the USS Henry Harrison, and they get a radio call saying, okay, giant what? All right, we'll go check it out. And the captain orders everyone to turn around. And he's saying, we're heading to the coast of Washington. So there is a lot of activity happening all over the U.S. military, Cybertron, and now in the Decepticons' secret base. Starscream is yelling at Soundwave, what is the meaning of this gathering? And Soundwave is like, look, Starscream, you ain't it, man. You're not doing a good job. We're getting beat up by Autobots and pathetic humans. This is not the way it should be. You know, we're the Decepticons. We're the conquerors. You know, we're not the ones that should be in hiding. And you have the other Decepticons like chiming in. You got Rumble. And he's like, I know who would make it right. Right before he says Megatron, Starscream slaps him and was like, man, we don't want to hear anything from you. Of course, Soundwave rushes over. That's one of his cassette players, you know, one of his cassettes, one of his little robots that he has inside. And Soundwave's like, this is where you're wrong, Starscream. We've sacrificed for our goal. The extermination of the Autobots is necessary, and you have failed miserably. And the challenge is laid. Soundwave, it's time to step down. Starscream freaks out. It's like, what? You're going to challenge me? I'm the leader. I'm the leader. And then Thundercracker's like, he challenged you, Starscream. This is our way. Ready yourself for combat. And you can see Rumble smiling. Soundwave has got that look, you know, he's like, I'm not playing games with you, Starscream. Listen, I followed you. I gave you a chance, but it's over. And Starscream he's looking a little scared. He's like, just wait a second here. Hold on. And before anything could happen, Soundwave just blasts him with his gun. Just takes out his shoulder. And he's like, Soundwave, what about a co-lead? Trying to talk his way out of it as Starscream would. And Soundwave's just not hearing it. He's like, the time for talk is done, and just punches him in the face and is just backhanding him and knocking him silly right onto the ground. And Soundwave, being the soldier that he is, do you yield, Starscream? Starscream, just taken by shock and just being beaten, he says, no, never. And he looks at Soundwave and says, die, just in his chaotic form. Well, that doesn't affect Soundwave. Soundwave grabs Starscream by the face and just begins to slam him down over and over and over and just wrecking Starscream. Starscream's not giving up, though. Shoots him in the forearm, but it just doesn't affect Soundwave. He is determined. Headbutts Starscream and then hits the button, and out come Laserbeak. Starscream is screaming that's cheating, and Laserbeak rips out one of his eyes. Comes back and rests on Soundwave's arm. And Starscream, after being beaten, eye ripped out, probably his right arm is not functioning. He's like, you know, I'm still willing to forgive this betrayal. That's Starscream. And man, do they have this character. And I love it. And listen, I'm biased. I think if Starscream wasn't so chaotic, I think he's a little more powerful than Soundwave. I know a lot of people might disagree with me here, but if it was just one-on-one without the cassette tapes, maybe Starscream could take him, but not in this fight, as Soundwave was way too determined. Starscream won't yield or give up because that's his nature, and he's still trying to plead with him. He's like, you could still choose the right path, knowing that he's beaten. Soundwave grabs Starscream and says, you kicked my Ravage. He then thrusts his fist inside of Starscream and pulls out a part. And he's like, the only path left is extermination. And then shoves Starscream into like the volcano pit or down the valley. And he looks down at him and says, goodbye, Starscream. Oh, my heart is broken. My man Starscream is done. He's done. And he walks back over and he goes, these pieces will help heal Ravage, you know? And he's like, we will destroy together. He gives like a speech. He's like, are you with me, brothers? And I can hear it in the Soundwave voice, in that robotic voice. And everybody starts clapping or stomping, whatever they do. Decepticons honor our new leader, and it's Soundwave. And I know a lot of Soundwave fans out there. You guys deserve it. I always thought Soundwave would make a great leader of the Decepticons. A lot more logic, you know, a lot more discipline. Completely different Starscream's chaotic, crazy, psychotic style. Even though he is my favorite Transformer, he was beaten. And I think this is a great direction for the Decepticons. And oh, Starscream, I still love you, buddy. I still love you, but you did it to yourself. Then we go back to the Autobot, I guess their base. And we see Carly is practicing shooting guns, and she's just upset. She's angry. See Arcee, she goes, is it Carly right? She's like, yes, I'm guilty. What are you doing? She goes, what does it look like? I'm training. You know, and she's learning how to shoot a weapon. And she's like, I got to start somewhere. You know, and Arcee's like, can I help you? Can I join you? And she starts shooting her weapon. And Carly's like a little excited, like not bad. And then they have this moment where Arcee is trying to say, listen, I know you're upset. I know like Starscream could have been killed by Cliffjumper, but you can't like hold on to that anger. You can't let it consume you. It will kill you. And Carly's like, whatever. Arcee's like, I apologize. It's just that you remind me of myself when my gears were just beginning to turn and I had a teacher then. And then we get this amazing shot of Ultra Magnus. She says, my clan was killed during the siege of Cybertron when I was very young, and Magnus saved me. He was the one that taught me how to shoot and how to fight, but I wanted justice for my people. Ultra Magnus died because of me, because of my path of hate, if it heals at all. Carly didn't want to hear it. It's like, cool story, continue shooting. Then we get to Cliff Jumper and Jazz, and Cliff Jumper's still trying to process why he didn't pull the trigger on Starscream. And Jazz is like, you know, there's no shame in not pulling the trigger, even in war, Cliff Jumper. It's not all of us, you know? And he's saying, look, if it makes you feel any better, Optimus is having the same problem. We see Optimus Prime at the hospital talking to Spike. And he's like, Spike, will you please talk to me? And Spike is just trying to process it. He goes, listen, it's not your fault. I just need time. I just need some time. So Prime is leaving with Ratchet, and they're just having some words. Then all of a sudden, in Prime's memory, a baby, and Prime is like not understanding what's going on. It's like he's holding a child, and he falls off the road and transforms. And Ratchet's like, what happened? He goes, I don't know. I have no idea. We get back to the Ark, and everyone's asking Wheeljack, who doesn't have his legs. He's like, how come you haven't revived more people? And he goes, look, I made a mistake. I accidentally revived Skywarp, who's embedded in the Ark, in the computer system. And Skywarp just starts talking trash, saying, eat my vapor, laughing at them. And Wheeljack's like, all right, I got to fix that. He goes, don't worry, everybody. I'm going to fix it. And everything's going to be fine. We'll start reviving others. And then we get this shot of Prime. And he goes, listen, we got the upper hand. We've got to take advantage of it. And he's like, make haste. Let's get our brothers back up. And in the last frame, he says, steel yourself, Decepticons. We are coming for you. And that is the end of another amazing issue. What do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. And let's just make Soundwave the special word, okay? For all you Soundwave fans, you get the special word. If you made it all the way to the end, just type in Soundwave in the comments section. It lets me know you watched the entire thing. I'm very grateful, especially to this change in the channel. And I'm loving it. I'm loving every episode. I'm trying to catch up as soon as I can because I just want to know what goes on and what is happening. So this is Jay, and we will catch you next time. Transformers issue number 8 coming soon.